Hello world, this is Jantelle, the aspiring actress. Hope you guys had a great couple of weeks. I know it's been a while. Just so you know, there's going to be some background noise. You just heard one of them. There's a beep. The battery in my smoke detector is low. And so I've already called to get them to come and fix it because I don't want to mess anything up. And they didn't make it today, so hopefully they'll make it tomorrow. But I wanted to go ahead and get the video done. In other news, my mom's in the kitchen cooking. So you'll hear some noises. Various things sauteing, a beep from time to time. It is what it is. But anyway, this is just going to be super informal. Beep. Super informal. Just want to give you guys a quick update about what's going on. So, not very much to tell in the world of acting. One good thing that's happening is that the TV show Homeland, if you've ever watched it or heard anything about it, they are actually going to be filming in the Richmond, Virginia area over the next few months, starting in September. So they sent out some information for people to, giving them ways that we can submit to be extras on the show. So I'm really excited about that. I just did a photo shoot with my sister, who is an amazing photographer. She does weddings right now, and she's moving into headshots. And when I say they're gorgeous, when I have some pictures, I will post them for you guys to see them on my Instagram. And I'll try to figure out how some people disperse their pictures in with their videos when they post their videos on YouTube. I haven't figured out how to do that quite yet, but I'm gonna look into it. And if I can figure out how to do that, then you'll see some of the pictures posted here. But she's an amazing photographer. She's doing a great job. So a little plug for Edlia there. But anyway, went and did some pictures with her today, and they came out so nice. Can't wait for you guys to see them. The other thing, so this is a little bit off kilter, I would say. It doesn't really sound like me, but I don't know if you guys know that I love playing poker. So I know I posted on my Instagram one time that I lost a hand, and I was really mad about how I lost that hand because I should have won that hand. But it's one of those things. Anyhow, I have come to realize that the way that I play poker actually fits with the way that I live my life. And so as I'm going through, this transition and adjusting how, I'm just things in life that I want to do differently or ways that I want to see the world differently, I'm realizing that I'm learning a lot about myself on the poker table. And as I make adjustments with life, I'm making those same adjustments in poker. So let me give you an example. I hate to be bullied. I don't know if anybody else has watched Big Brother this season, but the first few weeks of Big Brother this season were really, really rough with bullying. I felt like there were a couple of people in the house at the time, Cody and Jessica, that were in a little showmance, and Paul, who was a returning player, the only veteran in the house this season, set his sights on Cody because Cody could see that he was a threat at the very beginning of the game and wanted to get him out. And Paul ended up with an advantage in the game that kept him safe for like 3 weeks. So during that 3 weeks, he went on a rampage to turn the entire house against Cody and his showmance Jessica in the hopes of getting them to evict Cody. And so in that 3 weeks, the way that they attacked them, the way that they bullied them, the way that they treated them just really got under my skin. I'd seen the previous season where Paul played. I didn't have any issues with him. But this season, oh my goodness, it really, really got to me. And I mentioned in my very first vlog with you guys, very first video with you guys, that I was bullied in school. And that obviously is something that has stuck with me and molded me into, the person that I am now. So there's, I deal with that in general. And so when I play poker, I can see where I get bullied, and it drives me crazy. So like, if you know anything about poker, I'm gonna just explain it in these terms. The object of the game, because I play in poker tournaments, free poker tournaments, free. But the object of the game is to get all of the chips, obviously, at the end. You want everybody's chips to end up in front of you. Well, when you play hands, some you win, some you lose. Well, when you lose hands, obviously those chips go to other people. At a point, you look around the table and you can see who the chip leader is, meaning the person who has the most chips at that table, or whoever is short stack, who has the least amount of chips at the table. Now, once you see who the short stack is, usually that's me, because I'm still a beginner. But anyway, usually that's me, as that's the short stack. People will start to bet outrageous amounts of money, of chips, again, because it's free. But outrageous amounts of chips, so that you have to play, if you want to play in that hand, it'll take most of or all of the chips that you have left. Whether they think they actually have a better hand than you or not, they will bully you. And it's so frustrating. So if I'm in the big blind, meaning I have to put in a certain number of chips, and that goes around the table. Everyone takes turns being a big blind or a small blind, meaning you have to put money in the pot before the hand even starts. And everyone takes turns being the person who puts the money in the pot before the hand even starts. So you start with something in there. So if I'm in the big blind and I already have to put in, say, 10% of my chip stack because I'm short stack, I don't have that much left, then those that go around the table that decide they want to play will put in even more money, so that either I have to put in the rest of my stack, or if I'm not very confident in my hand, they can just steal those few chips that I've already put in the middle, because it's not a big deal to them, but it would mean my life in the tournament. It's a bullying tactic, and it drives me crazy. And so knowing how I get frustrated with the bullying, as I call it, and it really is bullying. Other people tell you it's bullying. I get to a point where my emotions get all involved. I hate to be bullied, I feel, and then I'll just, even on a mediocre hand, throw all my chips in the middle. I'm all in. You know, it doesn't scare anybody because I don't have enough to be intimidating, but I would rather be the one to say, I'm putting all my chips in the middle, than feel like someone made me put all my chips in the middle. It's just one of those weird things. It just is what it is. Anyway, I've started writing some journal entries about my experiences at the poker table. And I don't know if you guys know much, like I said, know much about poker. Maybe I just spoke Greek to everyone who's watching. But what I want to start doing, as I learn how to, for example, control my emotions and realize they're not bullying you, Jantelle. This is just how the game is played. They want all of the chips. So in order for them to get all of the chips, they're eventually going to have to take yours. If you don't want them to take yours, then you need to take theirs. It's one of those things where I've always been taught, take the lower position, be the level-headed one, be the practical one in the situation, you know, put other people ahead of yourself, which is not bad. That's a good way to live, just not at the poker table. So I'm learning how to make those adjustments. And if I know I have the best hand, play it. If I don't want to be bullied, you don't have to take it. I don't have to take it personally. It's not them saying, we don't want Jantelle at this table, so we're going to bully her. No. It's just them saying, we want the rest of the chips from the short stack, who happen to be me. And I don't have to be nice at the poker table. I am, as in personality, but I'm noticing that my playing style is becoming a little bit more aggressive. But like I said, maybe I just spoke Greek to everybody watching, but I'm gonna figure out how to make another channel on here where I can start talking about my experiences at the poker table when I do play in the poker tournaments, and give you a little bit more information about how the game is played, what I'm learning about myself, how this is helping me, you know, adjust in my life in general. And it's going to be pretty cool. So I hope you guys can tune into that. This week, I realized last video, I forgot to say what I would tell my 19-year-old self. Completely forgot. So I don't have two things. It's just going to have to be one of those weeks that I forgot what I was going to tell my 19-year-old self. But I'm going to talk to my 19-year-old self today about paths or intentions. So One thing that I've been thinking about a lot over the past couple of weeks is, or person I should say, is Jamie Foxx. Here's why. So I told you guys that I went to a different talent agent a couple of weeks ago. Haven't heard anything back from them. Hopefully that's not a terrible thing. They said it might be a while before I heard anything. So I did send a thank you letter, and I'm hoping that they do still want, they're still interested in maybe representing me, but I'll keep you posted on that anyway. But my intention from the time that I was young, my desire was always to be an actress. And I've been told that I have an okay singing voice. I've been told that people have asked me before if I've ever considered modeling because I'm 5'8", and nowadays plus size models are all the rage. Even though you only have to be a size 10 to be considered a plus size model, I'm average size, so who's to say that I wouldn't be a model? And even when I went to the other talent agency, the thing that they mentioned was that they represent models as well, and that I'm right in the demographic that gets the most bookings in their agency. So all of that stuff was good. Now this is why Jamie Foxx has been coming to mind. I remember watching a documentary or some information about his life. I believe he was doing an interview where he talked about how his intention, or the path that he wanted to be on, was to be a singer. He'd worked on music all of his life, and he, I think he'd recorded a few things, a couple albums or whatever that never really hit. But to supplement that is what got him into his comedy and stand-up comedy and things like that. So he enjoyed stand-up comedy, and he was pretty good at it, or we all know he was great at stand-up comedy. But his intention was to be a singer. And it's funny, he was a stand-up comedian. That was his claim to fame. Then he did TV shows. Then he moved into movies. Even though he did, right after the movie Ray, he recorded he recorded one album that had a couple good hits. But for the most part, that wasn't the thing that was going to be his claim to fame. It was his biggest desire, but it wasn't the thing that was going to be his claim to fame. So what made me think about him was determining what my path is. I've been so focused on acting, and these days it's really, again, I mentioned, it's really difficult in this market because there isn't much opportunity here for on-camera acting. It's not the same as being in New York or LA, where it's just booming for commercials, for web series, for everything. I mean, you could go to New York or LA, and in my mind, you could work immediately. But here or at least have the opportunity to work. Here in Richmond, I don't even see the opportunity to work and in acting. And so, on camera. I mean, there are a couple of theater things, but still, it's not the market that you would have elsewhere. And so, what I would tell my 19-year-old self is to go with the flow. And what that means is, yes, you may have a goal in mind. My goal is to be on Jimmy Fallon by next summer, but we'll see how that works. But the point is, if I have a goal and I'm focused only on that, I don't want to miss out on other opportunities or other things that might be just right within reach, because I was so focused on being an actress that I missed that I would have had the opportunity to sing, or missed that I would have had the opportunity to model. I'm not going to say dance, because if y'all have ever seen me, y'all know that's really not going to be the thing. But the point is to just go with the flow, not be so focused on one thing that I miss other opportunities that may be there. So that's what I would tell my 19-year-old self. No, that was kind of around the barn, but like I said, this is going to be super informal. I don't have any notes or anything. I'm just going off the cuff. But as always, please leave your comments below. Check out my Instagram, actress Jantelle. Start following me. I'll follow you back. And leave any comments. Subscribe to the channel. And I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say. Again, thanks so much for taking this journey with me. Y'all have a good night.